I better get my paycheck soon.
It should be any day now.
Yeah, it should be any day, to
Yeah,
be honest.
and end of the month.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
We
I will be
are
obtaining my amazing plushie soon.
all right. So we are officially live. Thank you for joining us tonight for this Affray Community Live Stream Discord event. I am here with Cools, one of the music
Hello.
sound designer and producers for 5K. So, what are we looking at here right now? What are you using to make music?
So this is my DAW. Now, what that stands for is Digital Audio Workstation. Now, essentially, what you can do here is you add, tracks, right? You can put stuff on them, like whatever, right? So, say I want like, let me see here. So I put on like Contact here, and then just dump that there, and then this is like a source where I can put like anything I want. Like I could put like a piano here. I could go over here and like get some strings if Reaper would not be freezing right now. This is in fact not the good time to be freezing Reaper. Thank you. But yeah, essentially, right? A lot of the instruments I have are gateways to other instruments, and you can put these together in multiple ways to create things such as sound effects, or as we are here today, music. And here is one of the tracks that I would like to be showing off today. Personally,
All
So as
right.
you can see, right, there's lots and lots of layers here, lots and lots of layers, and I'm, as you can also see, not very good with labeling everything. But I will play a little bit of it. Let's play a little bit of it, get an idea of it. I will also be working a bit on some actual music as well after this, right? I would just like to show off a bit of Reaper freezing. Yes, I would like to show that off. Thank you.
Now, is there any reason why you like this versus like something like GarageBand?
Um, Particularly when I was first picking up music, right? This one had the free demo that lasted forever, and it's also pretty cheap to license it. So I kind of always stuck with it, and then it just kind of fell into place where this is actually like the professional standard for doing sound design, which was very convenient.
Oh,
Very
really?
convenient, but that's why.
So it's better than GarageBand.
In terms of editing your music, yes. Now, in terms of actually producing the music, I don't know about that. But in terms of like mastering and mixing it, yes.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of tools in this baby. There's lots of tools, and there's lots of things you can do. Otherwise, you'd probably have to import it to another program. I know a lot of composers who compose in FL, and what they'll do is they'll compose in FL, and then they'll import it into Reaper and then master it there.
Ooh, very atmospheric track. Getting a lot of X-Files vibes from this. So what is the theme of this song or track?
I cannot be fairly specific, but this is really to set a tone, right? This is one of the more what's it called? This is one of the more tone setter pieces, right? And I can't unfortunately be more specific than that right now.
Well, it is a very good mood setter. Like, I imagine guys in tactical gear, suiting up, mission briefings, X-Files. That is the sort of like vibe I get from hearing this song. Something like this. So I'm very interested. Like, what goes into like putting something like this together? Like, how do you start when you got like a blank canvas in terms of like knowing what instruments you want? And it just seems like such a incredible thing to like compose like a sound from nothing. What is the beginning process when you're like starting from scratch?
So the truth is, right, starting is kind of the hardest part. You don't want to go into music being it like, hey, I want to have a piano and like I want to definitely have a guitar. There's sometimes you can do that, but if you go into if you go into every song being exactly like that, and you're trying to go for a specific scene, like say like you want to make something sad or something like that, you're like, I want guitar, right? That could work, right? But depending on more and more complex circumstances, sometimes you just need to be more open, right? So really what I do is like I go in there, I'll grab something like say Omnisphere, right? So say that I wanted to make a sad scene, right? Let's say right now.
Mhm.
Let me just open up Omnisphere. First thing I'll do is I'll just set a tone, right? I'll just find something.
So what is Omnisphere for like the music layman like me? The dum dums.
So it is a music library. It's an instrument library. So it's basically it has like I'd like to say like a couple thousand different sounds. Now, not necessarily all of them are the best sounding, but like it's got a good range of things, and you can cover it up with you can cover it up within your other tracks to make them sound better, right? Some of them are more professional sounding than others, but most of them they're good for covering ground, like just raw ground. Like this is $400, and it's worth like it is worth that $400. If I
Just
went for something like contact instruments, like yeah, that would be way more
so basic.
expressive. But this one,
So
right?
basically, it's
Sorry.
like a huge sound library that kind of like lets
Yes.
you kind of like gives you a starting point. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how you build something from this in terms of like finding
Yeah.
samples.
So I right now, if I want to make something sad, right? Let's just like this one, maybe this one. So as you can see, I'm also using my actual keyboard for typing because I don't usually pull out my MIDI keyboard for things like kind of. Actually, hold on. Let me restream this. Let me restream this a little bit. I cannot see.
Is your programming giving you trouble or Oh,
No. You cannot see when I go into the MIDI.
all right.
You can still hear this, correct?
Yeah. And everyone in the events tab or YouTube, let me know if you have trouble hearing.
So here is my MIDI editor. And set push to talk real quick so I can actually talk and not be so step one, right? You get something out there, like anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be the best, and then you go ahead and we build on this. So let me grab contact here, and let's say that I want to go find a piano right now. So I will grab probably let's do emotional piano. And just throw on some reverb there with black hole, which is default. But yeah, as you can see, right, it's definitely like starting is definitely the hard part because like you really want to just start in, just go for something.
So for the virtual keyboard, are you like composing with you, or are you just kind of like seeing the the different keys for these different melodies you're kind of experimenting with?
So I don't really go into these things like with like okay, yeah, I want a major key or anything like that. Really, the base for anything that I do is I just play the theme, right? I just play the theme, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I like this theme. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to clean it up in the MIDI editor right here if I want to keep that theme. And that's pretty much it. And then when I have a solid base of like the theme, like the idea, then I build off of that and it just slowly gets to here, where it's like, okay, now I have like all these sound effects here, like adding so much to it. But the basis for all of this is just me going like, that's the basis. That is really just the basis to anything that I'll do.
And
just pick up a keyboard, make a bunch of sounds. Sorry.
Luda Shelby asks, "Are we going to be able to download the game's soundtrack in the future?" I don't know if that's something you could speak on, but are there plans to get all those slapping beats out there for the fans?
I can't say when, but that is something that we want to do. Although more than that, I can't say because it's not really my place, right? But that is something we want to do, and I can't tell you when. I'm sorry. I'd love to. I would love to get that out like right now. That'd be sick.
So they definitely want to give you all the cool tracks, but not can't say what the official plans are.
So I think, unfortunately, it is not my place to be telling that, unfortunately. So I'm going to move on to something a bit more certain here, where this is an old track from, I think, 2019. I think, like, let me genuinely check.
It says 2021, but it could be an updated file.
It could be an update file. This like was originally composed in, well, actually, I'll import project load. I'm just gonna. This was not the one I was supposed to open. This one is. I need the one that's fixed. Here, this one. This one is fixed. And there we go with the Reaper freezing again. Go. Okay, so this was originally composed in 2019. I think I edited a little bit in 2021, but this is a very old song. That one does not work.
Oh.
Do
you usually have like a lot of issues with Reaper freezing?
No. That's just like it's the nature of like when I have like a bunch of GPU, because like all of these instruments take up a lot of GPU and CPU. That's the nature of it, right? That's why I don't have like all these open at the exact same time, right? Because like if I opened up the thing, sorry.
No, go on.
If I opened up a big massive project with like 20, 50 layers, like right now, like, and I opened up like 3 of those, like this would crash like straight up. Yeah, I can't. Like this just takes a while to load sometimes.
Oh, I had no idea. I always thought it would be like easier to run, but I guess it's just like the curse of the Google Chrome tabs, where they just take up so much memory.
They sure freaking do. Dear God. So I'm gonna lower the volume a little bit here so I can hear if somebody says something. What's this? Cat is missing.
That was kind of like a sort of softer piece, but had like a little nice dramatic crescendo. So sort of what kind of elements and what part of the game can you hear that piece in so far?
So
was it?
this this is meant to play after you press the reactor button and like everything's about to explode. Now, that's what it was composed for. That's not necessarily what it's used for. I don't think this is actually in the game at all. And usually the way we approach this kind of thing is like, back in like 2019, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have like a sound piece for like this thing or like that thing, and that wasn't always like the case. So we repurpose them where we can. We repurpose all the ones, and eventually we are going to use this somewhere. And right now, I'm just gonna update a little bit because these are mostly free instruments, right? I think we've got Omnisphere. I think maybe 3 instruments here are paid. So I definitely we have. This is Omnisphere. This is piano. That's $100. This is also Omnisphere. Okay, so actually only two. Everything else is free. So it's not really the money. It's 100% skill. Trust me. But yeah. So first things first, I need to buff this up.
Ludov Shelby says, a track that I'd love to listen to was the Outdronicon song from the Tactical Realism SCP-5K Content Focus Part 2. Man, this song is freaking awesome. Cheers from Brazil. Thank you for the kind words. And feel free if Tactical Realism SCP-5K Content Focus Part 2.
I believe Venny was the one who composed that one because it doesn't immediately jump out at me, unfortunately.
He did say this one was a really good one.
But yeah, Venny's like really good as a composer as well. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, because he's a very busy man and he has other things to be doing. Yeah, you're just stuck here with me.
Well, you got to give Venny a break. He was here last week showing off how to do all the video stuff. Week. So it's always good to give people enjoy their Friday nights. Totally a Human says soundtrack is better than most AAA games. So how did you get your How did you get your background in terms of like learning all this software and learning how to build music? Did you learn it in like high school or college or just on your own? What led you on this path to composing?
I'm not gonna lie. Right? I have no formal training in terms of like going to school for music or anything like that. I just decided, right, one day I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna make some stuff for fun. Again, that's where like Reaper comes in. Free trial, like easy to get like there's no risk. There's like a bunch of tools here. I picked up a bunch of free instruments. I started going. I got really good with free stuff, and now I get paid to do it. So now I get to have fun with paid instruments, and I take everything that I learned with all the free stuff, and I bring that to the table. I did not go to school for any of this. This is just a lot of hard work.
Well, now that makes it even more impressive to hear that you like kind of like just put your arms into it and learn this not very intuitive looking software. What kind of music did you compose before you did you work on before doing 5K? What was the kind of like musical tracks? Was it sort of game
like that?
Was it the sort of game music, or was it just sort of like electronica, rock?
It's really the same kind of thing. Honestly, I'm not gonna this is just I've always worked in roughly this style, and I started picking up different styles lately, but it's always kind of just been this SCP-5K, what's become SCP-5K style.
So
just
what were
very hybrid cinematic.
Hybrid cinematic is sort of like what you would define, because I was always kind of curious. What are the like musical influences of SCP-5K? Is it like Hans Zimmer? Are there any like famous film composers?
Hans Zimmer does a lot of orc synth, right? And this is basically what this is right now, right? This is like, hey, this is all orchestra right here, and then we get over here. Actually, I don't think there's any. Maybe this is just orchestral. Yeah, no, this is just I'm thinking the other one. But yeah, I tend to do a lot of orc synth, right? Where you just merge orchestral with synthesizer. I think it gives a really good modern feel to like the old feel, right? It gives a nice middle ground. That's what I define myself as doing here. Just a bunch of orc synth. Even though there's no synth here. I could throw a synth in here, maybe. I could. I kind of want to throw in another pair of strings. I kind of want to.
So is it,
I will apologize in advance because I know this is kind of muddy. Sorry, go on.
So this would you say is like kind of like your creative process is just sort of like listening back, hearing it, letting you sort of know what feels good, and then just kind of experimenting with variables.
Exactly, right. It's not like an exact science. You just listen to the track. You listen to the track and you say like, okay, I like right when it gets to here, right? I'm like hearing, right? I can hear this, and I do like this sound still, but it's not as high quality as say this sound. So I want this sound to kind of come out a little bit, but I don't want it to be. I want to mesh with the original one. Maybe if I remove this here. I think that's playing in a good place.
Totally a Human asks, when was the original SCP Pandemic OST made?
When was the original OST made?
Yeah, the original soundtrack for back when it was in the pandemic era of SCP-5K.
I believe when I started working on SCP Pandemic, it was December 2018. So if I made anything like the earliest possible track I would have made is December 2018. The earliest possible one. Let me think. Which is the first track that I made? Which
It seems like you've definitely had like a pretty long history. I'm surprised. I thought maybe you came in like the 2022 era of SCP Pandemic.
Oh no, I've been here the entire time. I have been here the entire history of FRA. Since like back when we were Ascension, basically. I think like for Pandemic, I think it might have been Elevator. Actually, I think it was Elevator. Maybe the first one. I have to go check. I'd have to go check, but I'm pretty sure.
Rudolph Shelby asks, what do you think about the SCP Overlord OST? Do you have any thoughts on their music? Did any of it serve as a musical inspiration for your work on 5K?
I do like the take on Overlord's music, right? Everybody has their own unique style, and I love that, right? Every game should have as much as they can their own unique identity in terms of music, I believe. And Overlords, I think it's a pretty unique. I think it can be pretty unique, honestly. But no, it hasn't really inspired anything of mine. I try very hard to stick to what it needs to be, because what this track needs to be is the most important to me when I'm composing something. Does it need to make you feel like, oh my god, we're about to die? Does it need to make you feel sad? Does it need to make you like, that's the most important thing to me. Not necessarily like hitting like, oh my god, this beat's absolutely sick. Not necessarily that. That's a big plus, don't get me wrong. But what I care about the most is setting the tone. Because that That's what music is. That's what music needs to do, because sound is what makes you feel like you're in that place. It's what makes you really feel like, okay, I'm in this like Area 12 facility, and like that's SCP-173, and like I might die. I don't know what to do. Uh, that's really what makes you feel immersed
That is
to me.
true. Music is like a huge tone setter, especially since, like, as of right now, the game doesn't have any like voiceover yet. So kind of like the music is doing the heavy lifting. So obviously that's super important. Totally a
I'm going a
human
bit on the
asks.
off tone here.
Totally human asks. Were you using the same software back then? Were you using Reaper in the early pandemic era of SCP-5K?
Yes, I was. I have tried. I'm slowly learning to go on to FL Studio, because generally speaking, FL is what Venny uses. FL is what Venny uses, and generally speaking, it's a lot more powerful for what we want to do. With the music, it's just I do not always have the most time, and also I'm a little bit of a lazy boy, I will admit.
Is FL Studio like more complex than Reaper, or is it just different?
I would say they're equally complex, just in different ways. Like if I spent those 10 years like right working on FL, then I'd be like, yeah, man, like this is no problem, right? But like me going in right there, like everything's different. It's just difficult for me to really effectively gauge, for sure. So I would definitely say they're equally complex. Is this even adding anything? I don't know.
People in the audience, if you have any suggestions while Cools is reworking this track of what you think it needs, throw it out here. This can be a jam session.
Oh yeah, by all means, if you have an idea, like, hey, Cools, like we need like that beat, we need that bass drop like right now. Please let me know. Like, music's all about collaboration.
It needs more. Whatchamacallit? What was that thing that was so popular in trailer music? The foghorn, the bomb.
Oh, I can get that. I can get that.
Can't you? I would love that.
Although I don't know how that would actually mix into this. I don't know, but I can definitely throw it in there. As soon as it saves, it's kind of frozen a little bit. It'd be a shame if it crashed. All right, so let me go ahead and find a little bit of the foghorn, because like it's gonna be inside of where the heck is it? Here, samples, and we have the blah. And then what I usually do when I'm like importing a bunch of like when I'm importing like for a particular sound effect, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna grab every single one, just throw it into an empty file, and now we have like a way to just. Is this what you're referring to?
I think
Is
so.
this what you're referring to, sir?
Yeah, I think so. Well, maybe it needs to be bass.
Let me see what I can do. Let me see. Bass boosted even more. Hell yeah. Actually, that's not that bad. That's kind of needed to stick there a little bit more.
So, do you ever like go on YouTube binges just like looking up music theory?
No, what I usually do. So I know a little bit about music theory, but I haven't been formally trained. Right now, I do sometimes look up a little bit about music theory, but what I usually tend to binge a lot more are just like, what's it called? Like, here, how do I say this? Videos, imagery, like anything like pertaining to like the kind of thing, the content that I'm after, right? So say like I'm making
Oh,
a theme song for like the D class people, right? Like, a main menu theme song for D class people,
mhm.
right? I'm just gonna look up a bunch of prisons, like, videos like that, maybe like, that kind of stuff. Like, maybe just for the meme of it, just go look at Secret Lab D class memery. But you get the gist, right? Like, just really, and then I will place my music. I will play my music against that, and I'll be like, does this really fit? Does this fit? Like, is this correct?
That's interesting that
Is this correct?
you look for more like visual stuff versus kind of like musical influences. You kind of like do, I guess, what the SCP 5K artists do, where you have like tone boards. Like Pinterest mood boards. Seems like what the kind of vibe you try and look at.
Hmm. Yeah, I think, like I said, I like to use music as like kind of a tool to really like reinforce what's going on visually, or like what you should be feeling. I think this is a great idea, because like, and I know it sounds jank right now, but like, just listen to what I'm kind of like going for right here. You can really get a feel, right?
Mm.
And
And
I just need to go ahead. I just need to clean this up a little bit so it's less jank.
are there any kind of musical video game music influences that you look for when you're like composing stuff for 5K? Stuff that's like really influential. Like I don't know if Half-Life is like Half-Life is considered to be one of the gods of music design. But I don't know if the electronica is kind of, although Half-Life does have a lot of moody tracks.
Half-Life has a lot of moody tracks, right? I would say my biggest influence, and my biggest influence in terms of my style, would be No More in Hell, if you've ever played that. Because like that's what I used to like when I was first getting into music. That's like the game I played every single day. Um, like every day basically. Like right when I was like 14, and I just played that. Like it really influenced my musical style a lot.
I don't think I've ever played it. It was like a really popular survival game.
It's a zombie survival game. Basically, there's two game modes. One where you survive and say like a mall, you have to fight off a bunch of waves. Your basic, you know, Call of Duty zombies type of stuff. But the difference here is, it's a lot more hardcore. It's not like super heckin' realistic, but it has hardcore mechanics where like you can like straight up get infected from one mistake, and then now you're on a timer. You can turn into a zombie. You can buy yourself more time because there is kind of a cure, but it's not a permanent cure, right? It'll buy you maybe like a minute, and as long as you keep finding that to sate the infection, you can technically live. You can survive the infection for the whole game. But eventually, like if you run out, you will just die and turn into a zombie. Now that said, right, it has a very grounded and just sad musical style that I loved at the time, and it just
Mm.
really, it just really rubbed off on me, I think.
And it's like kind of like really sort of moody and atmospheric. I'll have to look into it and take a look at the tracks. Oh, I didn't realize it. It's interesting that it's like free to play. Got some interesting questions
free to
on YouTube. Whatchamacallit? Totally a Human asks, will the screen anomaly have a theme? And Phoenix the Shark adding on to that, if the screen anomaly had a theme, it most definitely should sound distorted and corrupt. That'd be hella metal soundtrack.
That would be a really cool idea for a theme, right? Honestly. Just have it be like a bunch of like hold on, let me just real quick. Just get the point across real quick. Just something like sorry.
No. I would love to see if you have like some idea. I don't know if there is a screen anomaly theme, or if there is going to be one.
Not necessarily like this exactly, but like I think this is something like what you're imagining, something a little bit in terms of like the effect, the overall effect. Now take this and make it a lot less annoying than that, though. But yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea.
Totally Human suggests maybe a slow, distorted guitar to complement the piano and overall storyline's tone. While Phoenix the Shark says, putting the awesome environmental synth music up against a video of D-Boys goofing around SCP 939 and SL must be a vibe.
It is definitely a vibe.
But that was very interesting. It's the complete inverse of what I expected. That like you like look for images and then you build the music to like what you think complements that kind of mood versus looking for music and then kind of like build it. Because I hear that like what happens a lot in I don't know. Do you ever watch YouTube video essays?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes.
So there's this one movie video essayist, Patrick H. Williams, and he did a really interesting video about Marvel music and why so much of it sounds the same, and why there are a few like iconic Marvel movie themes, but a lot of it just goes through one ear, one out the other. And his thesis is that they would build temp music for the Marvel movies, but then they wouldn't really replace it with original orchestral stuff. So what they would do is just kind of make replacement tracks of the temp music. So that's why so many Marvel movies just kind of have blah soundtracks.
That's definitely one way to do it. But yeah, the way that I like to do it, and it hasn't always been this way, because for actually a lot of the very early pandemic music, not 5K, a lot of these were purely conceptual, right? Because when I was composing this, right, for the button press, right, we didn't have that, right? I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna make something here. And when I composed pretty much every single track that was originally for pandemic, there wasn't really a set gameplay section mapped out at that point. There wasn't at that time. So I really had to just go in there and I had to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to set the tone here and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And for the most part, it usually didn't because what we ended up making was something a lot more different than what I was expecting because, balancing reasons, who knows, whatever, we decided something would be cooler. There's a tons of reasons things will change. And that's why you don't really want to make something. It's an idea. You could make a conceptual piece with the mind that I'm going to come back to this later and make it 10 times better. For example, right now, I'm working on this one right now, and I think I'm probably not going to get a solid amount of work done before we stop the stream. But I think this is shaping up, and this could actually be pretty insane. But what I'm saying is, starting when you have the content helps a lot because I can visually see and I know what highs I have to hit, what lows there are, and I know how to hit them if I can see it.
Suspicious Toad asks, when you compose, are there often moments where you compose parts or components that may or may not work with the current project you are working on, but is able to be reused in different projects? Any examples?
Actually, that's a very funny question. The answer is yes. Actually, okay, so funny story, right? Do you know what the main pandemic leitmotif is? Do you
Uh,
know what the main pandemic leitmotif
I
is?
don't know if I do.
It is.
Is it like, you know?
Let me just play it real quick on piano.
All right, let me hear it.
That's the mainly motif that I made for Pandemic, and now it's like kind of become 5K theme as well. Now, I originally made this for a completely different, like, just personal pet project that never really saw the light of day, and I just showed it off in the dev server, right? And they were like, "Yo, man, this is like great. We should use it." I'm like, "Okay, sure." So yes, there are definite times where like I will make something and I'll be like, I could, But the point is, you always want to reuse it, right? Like, there's always some greatness, right? And it's not always that you can use that in this particular track that we're making it for. But you just want to take that, you want to shove it in a corner, you want to shove it in the pile for later. That's the thing. Reuse, recycle, everything.
You never know when you'll get gold from them music hills, right?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm sorry if I'm dragging on a lot with these talks. I'm sorry.
No. I think people enjoy hearing your process. I'm just sort of like keeping on, keeping the conversation flowing, but also it's fun to see you compose stuff. But I also don't want to like distract you too much. But it does seem like you're getting into a good flow where you're sort of like feeling something that you are building towards. So on average, how long would you say it takes to do a SCP 5K track?
Now, generally speaking, if it's something extremely large, like Countdown is an 8-minute track. That took me like I would say a month. That took me a month. Now, a track like this, like if I were making a track like exactly like this, I would say roughly a week to get to a point where I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is probably done. But most like usually what happens is we'll come back and tweak it like a little bit later, or like I'll have an idea, like I'll do a little tweak, right? But overall, I would say something like this a week. And then little sprinkles of updates here there.
As you're sort of like modifying it. And sort of in your workflow, is it kind of like Piper who's kind of like supervising it, or is it kind of like Trey who's sort of giving you the kind of overarching direction in terms of like when he wants a track revised?
Now that depends, right? For most tracks, it's mainly Piper, but if it's something really important for the story or something really important for another reason, Trey will also help me with that. But for the most part, it is mainly Piper, and then obviously we'll ask everybody, right? For at the end stage, and like, hey, is this good, right? And if they say no, then we'll come back and we'll do it again, right? It's no big deal. But usually for the most of the process, it's Piper.
And are there any sort of like overarching guidelines he gives you when composing tracks, or does he kind of like trust you to like have at it, do your tone, or does he like it has to be like Inception?
Now, I do ask a lot for those kind of things. I don't always get them, but generally speaking, Piper knows what he wants, and I know what he wants. And generally speaking, we have a very good mental understanding of each other, if that makes sense. And we both know roughly what we want, and they're kind of aligned that way. So usually there's a lot of direction from Piper, because usually I'll be working with him with like sending him like work in progresses, maybe live streaming it to him as I'm working on it, like right now. And he'll give me like, okay, Cools, we need more bass in this. Okay, no, I can't do a Piper.
He is.
You do a Piper.
He is.
Tell me what to do, please.
I will try to do, but I cannot do that man's dulcet baritone justice. Hey, this is Piper.
Deep voice, man.
I've got a super incredibly deep voice. I also have a cat named Tuna.
Yes, you do.
Cools. I think we need to up the bass, put up the bass, tune it a little bit down, and get some more mic boom drops in there. But invert them so they don't sound
Okay,
like
okay.
mic boom
So
drops.
would BPM 200 splice? All right, BPM 200. Let's go.
Phoenix the Shark says, we are watching a master at work right now. And Totally a Human asks, how many tracks are planned for SCP 5K?
That that is a question I don't think anyone can answer because really it's always eternally changing. Because how it usually goes is like we'll go into section, we'll be like, oh yeah, we want a track for like this gameplay section because it's all intense and stuff. But then Vanny or me, right, will have an idea and say like, oh, we could add this too. So essentially, while there is an internal list of things that we do want to get soundtracks for, that's like we're also a little bit autonomous on our end because like if we have an idea, it's totally fine to just throw that out there as well. So yeah, the answer is I don't know.
Well, I guess that it's a blessing and a curse of indie development versus we have to have 50 tracks. You get to improv and make jazz and try new stuff. And by any chance, do you ever watch the movie Whiplash? Have you ever seen the movie Whiplash?
No,
You'd probably find it very interesting. It's a
not.
movie from Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, about this guy who's working, in this like jazz band with this like really demonic teacher who's like, it's like, I'm gonna break you, I'm gonna abuse you, but I'll turn you into the best musician possible. So they're like all these iconic scenes of J.K. Simmons just flipping out to the point where like Miles Teller is like bleeding, hitting these drums to just become the best, the very best jazz musician. Um, yeah, I think you'd find it very interesting since your love of music. Although obviously working at 5K isn't Piper, doing like Whiplash. It needs to be harder. It needs to go harder. Bass boost it more.
You need to drop that bass right now. Okay, sir. Okay, I got you. All right, is this enough? Okay.
Suspicious Toad asks,
Where's the
for the soundtrack so far, what was the hardest OST to compose? Also, what's your favorite OST you've ever composed, either for SCP 5K or outside of 5K?
Can you repeat the end of that section? The end of that question, sorry?
Oh, yeah, of course. Either for SCP 5K or outside of 5K. So it's basically, what's the favorite track you've ever made for 5K or not 5K?
Hmm. I think that's ever changing. Like, if I'm being brutally honest here, but like right now, I really just love the D class theme I have right now. I think it could be better. It could be better, and there's a lot of things that I think I could do, but I really love how it turned out, and I did that in such a short amount of time. Men of Secrecy is a close second, definitely. That's a really old one. I'm not sure if everyone here has heard it either, but like I would love to come back to Men of Secrecy and do something with that.
Ooh. Phoenix,
That one wasn't 4 or 5K. That one was for Ascension.
Phoenix the Shark says, we need 5, 6, 7 digital tons worth of bass dropped on this track right here, right now.
Okay. So what I can do here is I can do a little reascent here, and let me just make sure. So what I can do here is I can just grab here. Okay, this one's not glitching out. Okay, so it's just really quickly here. Now, I have no idea if this is actually gonna sound good, right? But that's kind of the fun in music, right? You just tell me to do stuff, and like I'll throw it in there, sure, and we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? If it works, it works. And you're a legend for telling me to do this. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it. But if it doesn't work, I'm sorry, man. But we're gonna have to axe it.
Hey, that is the fun. It's jazz. It's improv. Ooh, yeah.
I think it could work if I hold on. Okay, so if I up the pace here a little bit, like I don't. That's kind of the fun, right? You just throw a bunch of stuff. Okay, well, I'm just gonna. Actually, wait a second. What if I just stole the spiccato that's over here? Where is that? Okay, right here. I'm just gonna steal this. I just make this a base. I don't know if I can even hear it now.
I did like the sort of like light pulsing, sort of the you had.
I think this is better. I think it's just better. Just have it.
Totally a Human asks, will Moon...
I just need it. Sorry?
Hope I'm not breaking your flow, but Totally a Human asks, will Moonfall ever have a theme?
Probably, but I can't confirm or deny.
I know that there's that teaser with...
And if you can imagine it has a theme, it very well could. I don't know if that's in the plans or not right now, and I can't say. It's not my authority, but it could. It could.
So I'm also kind of curious to ask, what's your relationship with SCP, the SCP universe? How did you get into SCP stuff?
So I used to read a lot of SCP back in the day, right? But I haven't been keeping up with it lately, because like lately we've got like way too many, honestly, and that's not a bad thing. That's like a good thing, right? But like there's just way too many, like lore wise, for me to personally keep up with, unfortunately. That said, right, I love a lot of SCP, and like I was like, yo, this is a pretty sick franchise to work on, you know. And then my friend, you know, introduced me to the people who, you know, became Frey, and you know, we go from there.
Oh, that's very cool. Who's the friend who introduced you to the people at a fray?
Pyru, or as he's also known as Reese.
Totally Human asks, what is your favorite SCP? Have you ever had one?
There's just so many great ones. Listen. I know the point of the question, right? There's just so many great ones, though. I can't really pick a favorite because they're all. I mean, there are some that are less right to my taste, right? But the amount of work and effort these writers put into these things can be absolutely insane. Honestly, like concepts, like you know. Like, you know, 106, like, you know, those classic ones, like 49, like 939, 1471, like these concepts, like they can be pretty interesting and pretty, like freaking Shy Guys, like terrifying, like all those classic ones, and there's like thousands more that are probably even more like out of the box, man. Like, and I'm sorry, I know the point of the question, but my answer is like, there is no such thing as a favorite. There really isn't. There is no such thing.
Well, good on you for not like picking any of the easy mascot ones, but it seems like you just kind of like. But I don't know. What? How about the Infinite IKEA?
Oh yeah, that one's really fun, right? Like that one would be really fun. Like if I had to pick an SCP that I would totally just go in there for no particular reason and probably never leave, I would probably pick that one, right? just because it seems so funny to me, and I'd probably die, but it'd be funny. Especially I got to bring some friends. I mean, like they'd hate it, right? But like, what's the point? I mean, it's just with friends. If they like, I would love a game like that, but that's like a really hard thing to do. I think I gotta cut off the. I'm sorry, Mister the bass synth man, but like I think I gotta cut off the bass synth about like here.
X Dreeper asks, when is the store is now closed releasing? Is that a track or is that something? Is that like a video game?
What?
Oh, he said.
Could you repeat that, sir?
When is the store is now closed releasing? I don't know if that's a track.
I'm not familiar with that either. Unfortunately, so.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, but I cannot say.
Oh, all right, it's an SCP game from another studio. All right, so
okay, yeah, I definitely would not know the answer to that, sir. If you cannot answer it, I'm sorry, I cannot answer.
Oh, apparently it's a game that's like based around the Infinite IKEA, themed around 3008.
Oh, is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yo, I never. Okay, yo. Okay. I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna write that stuff down. I'm gonna figure that. I'm gonna write that down.
Oh, X Reaper, you damned us. Now the music will never get done because you'll be playing this new SCP game.
Okay.
But now it's
yeah,
all
it comes out right now. It comes out right now. Okay, so I'm going to open the other one right now.
I think what's also kind of like interesting about SCP is like how much of it. Yeah, all right, so the game is not out yet, but it is another SCP game, which is fantastic because the more SCP games, the more people play SCP stuff, which is always good. But I think that's what's so interesting about SCP in general is that it inspires so much different mediums and creativity in internet culture, and it's always great to see like people just be inspired by it and go on and move forward. Like what was the thing that I had in mind? Have you ever seen Kane Pixel's back rooms?
I've seen lots of backroom stuff. I don't immediately recognize Kane though.
I mean,
many
people have done backrooms content. He's just like the guy who kind of exploded. He's like this, I don't know, 17-year-old wunderkind who's like a genius with Blender. And he made, originally got his fame making these Attack on Titan animations. And then he pivoted to using his Blender skills to make these like animated films about like people exploring the back rooms, but it like looks found footagey, and it just exploded. He became super successful, so successful to the point where now he's directing a Hollywood movie about the backrooms. And backrooms is like I don't know if it's based on an SCP, but it does feel SCP adjacent. So it's always like fun to see these things expand and become linchpins of internet culture. Totally a Human asks, will the GOC have a theme in the new update when they're added?
Most likely when they're added. Most likely. Because we have one for the D class.
If D class is getting a theme, then the GOC's probably had some really good chance that they're going to get a theme. So keep your ears peaked for that. Suspicious Toad asks, would you invite a friend to the Infinite Ikea even if it was their birthday? Would you dare, Cools?
Especially if it was their birthday. Maybe on like, yeah, maybe. When was your birthday? When was your birthday? Maybe I'll bring you. You're my friend, right? Are you? You want to go to the Infinite Ikea, Mr. Suspicious Toad?
Is there some lore about the Infinite Ikea where like you're just trapped there if you go there on your birthday, or it only spawns when it's your birthday?
Yeah, who wants to help me drag Suspicious Toad to the Infinite Ikea?
Exactly. You can get infinite Swedish meatballs and infinite. Have you ever gone to an IKEA recently? They have these great Cinnabons that are fantastic because they're only like
recently. Like they have good meatballs though.
Yeah, I love the little IKEA food store at the end of the shopping expedition because you can get some really tasty meatballs and other foods, and my favorite, the cinnamon buns. The cinnamon buns are incredibly slept on. They're really good. Highly recommended if you find yourself in an infinite IKEA. But anyone here is welcome to join Cools at the Infinite IKEA on your birthday.
I'm just like trying to figure out right now because I think this is pretty beefed up right now. Like, how are you feeling about this track right now? Like,
play it again.
I feel like this is pretty beefed up.
Definitely sounds like it's got a lot more muscle under it than before. So is there anything else you'd like to do with it, or would you like to show off some other tracks that you have, things that are more complex or less complex?
Yeah, I'll probably switch track here in a second here.
Audience, is there anything else you want to see in this track? Let us know. Type in the comments. Give us suggestions of what you think this track could use. This is your chance to affect the future of this music.
So one thing I will say, right? I do a lot of this with strings, right? Where, and I'm sorry if I'm cutting off anyone who's about to say anything, but if you look right here, right now, these are the strings that I've got right here under this track. So we have this one. This is violin. And it's going down. It's going do, do, do. And then I have, on top of that, I have one that's going the opposite direction. And I do this a lot, where like basically you play them together, and they just really. You know, I can honestly pan it as well. So like that one's to the right and that one's to the left. And if you notice, right, here's the volume envelope. It's going down, and then it kind of swells up, and then it swells down, and then it swells up. And I think it adds a lot when you pair that with everything else going on. That's a little trick that you can do, like with all sorts of things with music, that I like to do personally.
Phoenix the Shark says, track sounds amazing. Surprised the bass sort of worked, lol.
You're referring to this bass or this bass?
I like it. It sounds kind of
both of them are pretty good. Like, that's really like kind of like, you know, another thing that, you know, we can say like, hey, you could really just throw whatever the heck. Honestly, you could throw whatever in here, and it could work if you have the skill, the time, if you have the resources. You could throw anything. Like, this is just like a chiptune synth. Like this is like this came bundled with the program. I just threw on a bunch of effects, and now here we go. You can't hear it over like the entire like track, but the thing is, and I don't know if many of you can notice this, right? But if you really listen, you can kind of feel the pulse still, right? So if I play this right here, and don't say anything. And now if I play without it, I don't know if many of you can tell, but you can still feel something when it's there. You can still feel something when it's there. And I think that's what it kind of adds to the table. It's not very obvious. It's not. But that's the beauty of it. That's just sound design for you.
wonderful alchemic magic of always looking for the right thing in the wrong place. Totally Human says, SCP 5K and Half-Life are similar. The protagonist is the right man in the wrong place. And I think that there is definitely some sort of similarities in that regard.
Definitely, especially in terms of like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab a chip shoot and throw that in there. Heck yeah, you know, like, you know, who like I forget, like, and I'm sorry, right? Whose suggestion was that? Like, you know, high five, man, high five. You know, you did a good job. You did great. You know.
Thank you. I don't think Trey would ever approve of it, but we should just have everyone live streaming at all hours to get player feedback.
Maybe not quite that. Maybe not quite that. But you know, suggestions like that are always welcome, right? If we post something like on the OST, like, you know, like, hey, Cools, you should totally add some more. You should totally add some more chiptune to this, and I'll try it. You know, I mean, no guarantees that it'll work, and no guarantees that I'll keep it. But you know, I try things like, you know, crazy things because you might as well. I mean, it's fun. You know, might as well.
How about cowbell? Could we get some more cowbell? Or just cowbell, like you know, that's like $400 to get that in Reaper.
Yeah, you know, I genuinely would, but I feel like, do people want to see me continue to work on this right now? Do people want to see me continue working on this right now, or would they rather be doing something else?
You know, let me put up a poll. Let us find out. 2 seconds. I'm going to close it in the YouTube. If you're watching the YouTube, prepare for a poll. A poll is coming.
All right, I'm gonna close the stream real quick here, and just open up some secret tabs here in my folders.
Track. Go to something new. Same track. Something new.
No. They want to see my secret tabs.
Can't see the secret tabs.
That's why they're secret, man.
Oh, the results are coming in. We've got 3 people. Come on, we need more votes. Let's get more of a consensus. 50-50. What's going on? 4 votes. Oh, and now it's something new. Now people are saying something new. There's 13 of you watching right now. Let's hear. I want to see 13 votes. 13 votes on this live stream. Keep it going. But right now, something new is the winner.
What was winner? Sorry, I'm like going through my files here.
Something new.
Something new. Okay. Okay. So I will restream this again, and I'm going to probably see if I. All right. So let's see here. What here in this folder that could I just do? Because we have elevator. Elevator's a good one, but I know all of it's broken. Elevator. Sure, elevator. I did say this was like the first one, pretty much. This is like the first one. And I'm not even going to attempt to fix any of these missing files or like anything. I still have all of this stuff. I still do. It's just I moved hard drives like 12 times.
Have you ever gotten
everything's gonna be
lost
missing,
in one of
so.
those big furniture stores?
Ooh, I really like this track.
Most of this stuff is broken, man. What do you mean?
Oh, well, isn't it the... A lot of people say I'm it reminded me a lot of evac. There's an evac track I like a lot, and I always like try and find any excuse to use it in social media.
Which evac track? Like the countdown?
I think it might be the countdown. It might be even. Let me pull it up.
Let me just open a countdown. So if I just throw out countdown right here.
Yeah, it's just called evac. That is not it.
Okay. Well,
that is a cool track, though. It reminds me very much of GoldenEye.
well, thanks.
Oh, wait. That's close, but that's not quite it. I was gonna send it to you via Discord, but the file's too big. But you know what? Maybe I'll make it smaller, just for the hell of it, since I do really like that track. I think it's the designation is evac C76.
Probably. I don't know. I don't think I have it lying around in my files like there, and I don't really want to open the other files. So
All right, yeah. I think I have it. I think I'm gonna send it to you. All right, there we go. I just sent it to you in your messages. See if that jogs your memory.
Oh yeah, that's a really old one. Yeah, that's a really old.
Is that? Yeah, I really like that, like techno synth. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God! Totally a Human sent us $1. He didn't say anything, but he sent us a super chat. And Phoenix the Shark became a supporter. Thank you. Oh my God, you made us money, and we got a new member. We gotta get some new emotes and badges for you. I'm gonna talk to Kyle, the art director, so we can get that for you. We gonna make that happen, because right now there's only one emote, and we deserve more. So thank you for becoming a supporter, and thank you for the $1 super chat. Yeah.
So, do we split the $1? Do I get 50 cents? Do you get 50 cents?
Yeah. It goes into the Google AdSense, which goes into the Affray account, and then it pays of 5 seconds of editing time.
I really honestly, I might just say screw everything else and just take this piano track and just make it something else, because I just like how this sounds by itself.
Well, okay, so we got another suggestion. We got a new person joining the stream, Mr. Chain1. He says, "Sup, I don't know what I joined, but can you play some dubstep, please?" So, for the hell of it, for experimentation, because Bass approved that other track you were working on. Is it possible to add dubstep without adding cringe to this?
Or
is that humanly impossible?
I don't know if that would work for this type of track, sir. I don't know. There are dubsteppy things I could play, but they're more personal things. But that is unfortunately not something that's not really something I would want to add, unfortunately.
Ah,
this is a very serious track, but okay, let me see, right? Let me see. I'll see. Okay, I'll see, but no promises. I will not keep this. This will not be in the game. I'm telling you, this will not be in the game.
Exactly. We will experiment. Oh my God! Totally a Human became a supporter. Thank you.
Do we get another 50? Did I get another 50 cents?
Yeah, you got another 50 cents. So you'll see it in your. Just imagine that the money filters in, and then when you get your next paycheck that comes in, it's in there. So thank you for feeding the lifeblood that keeps Affray going. Suspicious Toad asks, do you have audio jungle sample, SCP lore example accurate version?
No, I do not. No. I do not have audio jungle.
Is that like an in-joke that I'm not super familiar with?
I'm not sure. Apparently it is. Maybe it is. I'm not aware of it.
Well, but
in case you didn't know, he is my friend. In case you didn't know,
that's
why I was saying that earlier. He is my friend, although I don't know of any in-joke like that. Now, I'm certain this is not what you were thinking when you're like, oh yeah, cool, add dubstep. Yeah, let's do it. But
well, it's kind of funny. Dubstep's kind of dead right now, but now the cool thing that you hear everywhere on TikTok is funk music. It's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. It does kind of gel. Ooh, I'm kind of liking that.
Yeah, this. I'll just mess around with this, right? Oh, and one thing I like to do with sentences is just hey, Casually, here's a guitar rig on it. Casually, here's his guitar.
Thank you, Totally Human, for joining. I love seeing the badge, and I love seeing the winky face SCP, whatchamacallit, emoji. I gotta get some more emojis for you guys. I gotta get you, like, a whole bunch of cool emojis. I promise I will talk with Kyle Fitzpatrick this upcoming week, and we will try and put it on his agenda, but he's a busy person.
Yeah, you're very busy, man.
Kyle does some great work, though. Every time I see him, like, do artwork, I'm always, like, florgasted. I love, like, the schizo posting, like, art style he does. I always think it's, like, really neat. By any chance, did you get to go to GDC last week?
Yeah, I was at GTC. Yeah.
How was it? Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, I had a really good time. Right, we went and we did a lot of stuff. We met like a lot of cool people. Like we met a couple of you guys looking out there. You know, some fans. You know, we were like, heck yeah, dudes. You know, like hugs, shakes. You know, that kind of stuff. Had some good talks. Hung out with the team. You know, we all met each other. Like not every single one of us, unfortunately, but a good amount.
Well, I've seen the photos. There's like good photos where there's like 15 afraid people, which definitely makes me happy to see, considering how like most of the team is like scattered on different continents.
Oh God, my ears. Yeah, they're like people from all over came, like all over the place, like all these other countries.
Chain says, you guys and the guys doing the animations for this game need a raise. Well, thank you. When SCP 5K 1.0 is released and is everywhere and hopefully makes $200 million, I'm sure everyone will get a raise.
Oh yeah, whenever we become world famous, I made sure to collect signatures from every person who was there, on the production team. I made sure I got everyone's business cards, I got everyone's signatures. I'm gonna be freaking rich, so I would love it if you helped me become rich. Thank you for supporting this game.
Well, that is the purpose. Sometimes we're a little quiet, and that's why we're here showing each of the individual aspects, because game making is it's not easy. There's like a lot of different factors, a lot of things that can go wrong. I'm always amazed and like paralyzed when I like go to like the Fray Discord and I see them like a bunch of people sitting there and they're just like watching the game get made, and it's just like putting together all these levels. It always just kind of amazing to see how many different components there are.
But yeah, I don't think I do like it to an extent, but that's just because I like the notes. Like these are some good notes. But like, and it does work with trance, but like pretty much anything will work with trance. And this is not the dubstep that they were asking for.
Upside Down Sam.
I'm gonna have to probably cut it.
Upside Down Sandwich asks, "Yeah, where's the breakcore Baroque opera mix though?"
Oh no!
Is that your nightmare? By any chance, are you like are you an anime fan?
I watch some anime, yeah.
All right, so have you ever watched the old classic Gurren Lagann?
Not that one, no, sir.
Oh, well, it has this really famous track. It's like row, 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 fight the power, and it's like this weird mix of like opera and rap. It's like kind of this Frankenstein abomination of music. I'd play it, but then we'd probably get DMCA struck.
I love music like that, where it's just like you just grab things from like every which place. And frankly, I would love to make more of that, but that's just so time consuming because you have to be so specific with everything. Like, you have to like have so much skill. You have to have time and skill. Like it's just insane. People are like able to just pump that stuff out. Some of them, honestly, like I don't know what to say, right? But like everybody, like in general, like with creators, like those community, right? Like hats off to them because you don't really understand, right? Just how much stuff goes into like the minutia until you're doing it yourself.
Yeah, and it's always amazing when like people do like kind of big mixes like that and that shouldn't work, but then somehow kind of do.
Yeah. And I know I'm not the most professional person, right, in terms of like, like this right now, but I just want to say genuinely thank all of you for like, helping support our game and, making dreams come true and like
You can make that
on my heart,
and you can make that dream come. Well, thank you for the support, becoming supporters, and setting the $1 super chat. But also remember, we have the makeshift going on right now. So please consider getting our wonderful plush.
Will be getting one of them myself as soon as I can.
I will probably try and get one as well too, because I need that thing. I need it for like movie night and doing fun dumb things with it. I need that. That is a prop, and I will keep that receipt and use it as a business expense for taxes next year. What are you playing with now? Those kind of like Looney Tunes sound effects. The do 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 do.
Like these?
Yeah.
So this is like staccato. This is like cello staccato. And the way that I do this, typically not every single time, but like a lot of the time when I want to like really like hit hard, is so if I were to just play this straight up, right? So say if I just joined all these notes together here right now.
Mhm.
And I will play in a second here. So if I played it like this. And if I put that here, you can barely hear this. So what I like to do, like a little composing trick, which what I'd like to do is I like to grab this and the notes, make them small lengthwise, and then you just copy paste it. And now that same note's being played 3 times in rapid succession. You can hear it a lot better. And if I actually make this play even faster, these notes. Let me just. Here we go. It helps draw them out a lot more if I play it like that. But for the purpose of this song, right, I'm doing it a little bit more like a tremolo effect on it. Like they're really like going back and forth with the bow. And every single time, I'm dropping the velocity by a little bit. Every single time it drops the velocity. And that's like basically in a nutshell, velocity, how hard you're pressing the note down, or like in for a piano, or in other words, how loud the note played is. So the highest possible would be 127 in my program, and that's very heavy, that's very loud. And then I can go all the way down here, and I can make it more and more subtle the lower this is, right? So very subtly, like, it starts really strong and very subtly drops off, and it helps create like that kind of effect that I'm looking for. I have an idea. A little bit more subtle movements here. I'm actually gonna mute this, because I think maybe I want to hear how it sounds without it.
Askia Money says, all right, I'm throwing buckets of money through your window now, Cools. Open the door. I'm throwing bags of money through your window excessively. Grape Studio. If I throw a bag of money through the door of the Screen Anomaly Theater, will it leave me alone? Upside Down Sandwich for $1.99. I'm always happy to see music production for games. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you are appreciating just listening to this music come together. Row, row, fight the power.
You know, I have to say thank you a lot for throwing bags of money at my house. I have to say, I don't hear you, but respectfully, I'm gonna have to decline the buckets of money. You know, because frankly, you know, I'm just one man. You know, I might do a good job, but I'm sure you could use it more than me.
Well,
Or by all means, you know, if you want to donate to Afray, you totally can, but please do not donate specifically to me. I mean, I would love to support everybody on the team because they deserve it. Everyone's just so talented on this team. I want to say everyone, like the community is great, the developers are great, and I can't say enough. You know, thanks to every one of you. Honestly, like everybody. Like, and I'm not just saying like, you know, hey, you in the community, but like everyone who is a part of this, like they're just insanely, like they're just insane. That's all. You know. There's nothing more I can say. Everyone's insane. Like y'all epic. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Definitely a lot of love from the community. They always love seeing like the regulars like Cal and X Reaper coming out to all the events, and as well as new people popping in on the YouTube. Shane asks, random question, do you guys know why footstep audio in some games like Warzone doesn't work 90% of the time?
I'm not a programmer, but I'm not a programmer, but like I did do the footstep audio for a while, right?
Really?
Yeah, so not the current footstep audio, but I did at one point do the footstep audio. It's just a lot more difficult than you would think, actually. A lot more difficult than you would think.
Really? What makes it more so like difficult? Is it just getting the right sound, or is it just kind of like more difficult to compose?
Well, to an extent, right? It's about realism, right? Because so when you are walking, right, you don't. Say right, if you're walking in a video game, right, you hear a lot of footsteps, right? You know, they're very clear, heavy footsteps, right? But when you're walking yourself, you probably don't have such heavy feet. Now that said, right, what we're playing as characters are like people who are trained, you know, soldiers and stuff like that. They'd be a little bit more sneaky, I would imagine, with their footsteps, and they'd also be a bit heavier with their gear and stuff like that. Initially, like when I was making this stuff, it was 2018. I was a little baby sound designer. Like, fun fact, I got hired to do the music. And then they just kind of like asked, hey, can you also do the sound design, right? That's how I got started. Now, I was a little baby. I didn't know what I was doing, and yeah, I'm glad somebody else who is like has a lot more resources than me is doing the footsteps now, because that would take a lot of time off my plate, honestly, just doing the footsteps. Because it's such a small, subtle sound, but like, there's so many variables you have to get right with it, or they don't sound satisfying, or they don't sound realistic, or people begin to question, well, hey, these are trained soldiers, why are they so heavy footsteps? You know, that kind of thing. Now, I have no idea on the programming end, but footsteps can be difficult. Footsteps can be, because there's a lot of fine lines you're stepping over, admittedly, and yeah.
Who knew that the footsteps were such a overlooked detail? My guess is because those like modern warfare games are so goddamn big and they take up so much space with the mega textures and all the other bullshit. Maybe just the hardware just cannot handle it all, and it's not optimized. So that is why you're having difficulty with those footsteps. That would be my theory, but I am not an engineer.
It could easily be that as well. I mean, there's just so many layers of things, right? You know, I'm sure a lot of other companies have found, like, you know, other ways to do it that are more efficient. Honestly, I don't know how the new sound designer, like, who's working on it, does it, but when I was doing it, I was paying so much attention, like, to detail on this thing that it was like, yeah, it was genuinely a bit of a struggle. Not again because it was actually hard, but because I was trying to really hard to just nail everything, and I didn't have all the resources that we do now have, admittedly.
Yeah, well, one thing I'm gonna try and do is I have this great footage of the team doing going to like a gun range and getting like audio of guns firing.
Oh, that was me. That was me.
Oh yeah, you were one of those guys.
Yeah, I was the guy recording it. I was the guy getting the audio recordings.
Oh, awesome! So I got footage of you with like the boom mic. So I'm gonna put something together and try and get that to. Yeah, with the shotgun mic. I'm gonna try and put something together and put that on social so all of you guys can check that out. Keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I love that like footage of you just getting in the field, getting those real sound effects so that like tactical gameplay feels authentic. It feels good.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that recording. Right, there is like a lot of stuff. Like we were out there for like 5 hours. Like I checked the total length of recording. That was 5 hours, right? And I believe that in some way, shape, or form, we can use about 60 to 70% potentially of what was recorded there. Now, I can't wait to see what we're able to do with it. Honestly, we're still processing it. We'll see what we can do. But like, it was a really fun trip. Definitely fun shooting some guns. Definitely fun getting recordings. Very fruitful, I think. And honestly, check it out when you can. Check it out.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Thank you for Phoenix the Shark for saying the whole Fray crew is awesome. One thing I did try to do, but it didn't quite come together, is I pushed hard to like try and see if I could get you guys to do like a live stream. At GDC, but there was just too much going on. There was just too much walking around, too much meetings, and too much business to be had.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of those things to be had, and there weren't a lot of times where like every single person was like next to each other. So that's kind of what made it difficult. Because usually what happened is we'd have like Team A over here and Team B over here, and we're both like we're all just kind of a little bit split up. And the only time we were really all together is like at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. And maybe for like 30-minute intervals. Like every single person, mind you, everyone. But yeah, we had a lot of fun, hanging out when we can,
But yeah, there was just too many high-powered meetings, unfortunately. So sadly, that did not come. But who knows? Maybe there'll be another time. I'm sure there'll be other gaming festivals in the future.
We might go to GDC next year. I mean, we'll see.
Well, fingers crossed. Eventually, we get to go to like something like PAX and have like a booth, and we could just hang out all day with the, the D class and plushies and just schmooze, and that I think would be a lot of fun. I've always been a huge fan of cons. Is GDC like your first major con you've ever gone to, or have you been to other ones?
First time I've even been on a plane, jeez.
Oh, wow. That must have been such a whirlwind exciting experience.
More anxious that like I was going to do something illegal accidentally, not knowing TSA and get detained. No, it was all fine, just paranoia, Yeah, how was your first experience on a plane?
Mine? Terrible, because, the air pressure, but I mean, that was years ago. I hate the air pressure. I hate the, when your ears pop, or then they don't pop, and then you just have clogged ears for, like, the whole time. I think plane is one of the most miserable ways to travel, but, people love it because they like to travel, so I guess good on them.
It's very efficient on time, I'll give it that.
Yeah, well, especially if you want to travel across the United States, it's like your only option if you don't want to waste hours. Just like getting through security is like always kind of a pain in the ass.
There was a cat. The last trip I went all the way through security.
I've always wondered if I could get away with like bringing my bird through security, or if I like run into issues. What is that instrument that is that a violin, or is that something else?
This? or this.
Wait. Yeah, that part just there.
Yeah, so this is still staccatos, like, but I haven't mastered it. Like, so this is just like full send, right? Full send. So if I were to lower it, okay, so I have 105, so I would do 105 on all of these. 105. But yeah, I'm sorry, like, I'm not really getting that much progress done on this particular track because like I'm just like really trying to figure out what do I want to do with this track. What do I want to do? I love this piano and I want to bring it out a little bit more. Honestly, if I just solo this out, this could be a cool thing for like a trailer or something. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I think dramatic piano has kind of like become like the go-to for like this is serious. Like I remember in 2016, every movie trailer would always have like that dramatic piano key of like whatever the theme was. Like the Ghostbusters 2016 would play it. Jurassic World would play it. Let me see if I can pull it up on my computer. Just like 2 seconds of it, just so you can. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but the audience will be able to hear it.
I would not be able to hear it.
Actually, no, you're right. No one would be able to hear it, except for the people on YouTube. So maybe it's completely maybe it's completely pointless. But like if you go back and you watch the Jurassic World trailer, or the Ghostbusters 2016 trailer, they both had dramatic piano key pauses.
Honestly, I'm gonna make an executive decision and say, screw this for now. I'm just gonna go on a complete 180 and just yoink this and do something else.
Okay.
Okay, whatever you say, Cools, whatever you say.
You lead the man. You are the musical maestro of mastery. So follow wherever your heart is going for you.
Okay, so first things first, I'm just gonna pull this over here.
Totally a Human asks, what is your favorite game?
My favorite game. So I would say there's actually different games, right? My favorite game to play, my favorite game that's influenced me, my favorite, like, there's categories.
Well,
right?
all right, then give us all your categories.
So my favorite game to play, right, like now would probably be Left 4 Dead, right? Because it's just such an experience. I would say it's definitely an experience, especially these days. You don't really get to play it that much, and unfortunately, no Left 4 Dead 3. But like even these days, right, it can be like a very entertaining.
What about Back 4 Blood, the unofficial Left 4 Dead 3?
Back 4 Blood is it's in a very cool spot. Like I do. There are definitely, and I won't lie, there are some problems with it, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's still a great game. I mean, you can't look like, I mean, hey, like every game has a couple problems here, and some, have problems, and then some have a lot of good things about it, and that's what. But what I'm saying is, Back 4 Blood is still a good game. It's a good game, I would say, but I think it's something that I would play. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my friends to get back to it because like I played a little bit of it and then I stopped because my friends were like, nah. But yeah, I do like playing Back 4 Blood, and I do think it is a good game. Maybe a bit cut off on its lifespan, but yeah, it's a good game.
All right, so Left 4 Dead. Give me your other favorite games of all time, or in different categories.
Okay, so retro games, I would probably say, like retro game. Some wouldn't call this like definitely like totally a retro game, but like I do love Luigi's Mansion. It's like one of those old like really GameCube classics that for a long time people didn't know what the heck that was, but I think there's been a resurgence in like people knowing what that is, especially with the new sequels.
Well, apparently the new sequels were like bestsellers. I didn't realize it, but like Dark of the Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3 were like sold like 10 million copies. I never realized that people like did so phenomenally.
Yeah, they did. I think they did a pretty good job with both those games, right? And again, there are some issues, but that's every game, right?
So all right,
They
Luigi's
did really well.
Left 4 Dead, Luigi's Mansion. What other things are we talking about for the like your favorite games?
Like an actual horror game. Let me think here. I'm like really trying to think here. Now it's not really an actual horror game, right? But it is technically a horror game, and I play it a lot. You know, Dead by Daylight. I guess
No, that's a good one.
the horror is more so when you're playing solo queue and you just like you just go down, and after the killer is chasing you for like 20 minutes, and you just see all your teammates are in a locker or doing nothing. That's the horror game.
But then, so give me one more for you. I'm gonna make a poll of you. Like, give me another one of your favorite games.
I don't know. I'm like really thinking, like, what's another thing I could say? Dead Space. Dead Space is pretty cool.
Oh,
is
Dead
pretty
Space is so good. I love Dead Space. All right,
like,
so
they're fucking crazy with what they were able to do with the technology at the time.
God, dude, even like the Dead Space from like the first ones, I still think looks incredible. It's just such a well designed game that I think like just visually, I still think it looks.
And that was made in 2008. What the hell? What were they cooking?
Yeah, honestly, I think with that generation of games, we kind of peaked, and everything since then it's kind of been downhill.
They were freaking cooking there.
Oh yeah, it just looks so great. It's so atmospheric. And what have we been getting? We've just been getting games that like take up more space and seem to do less. The Dead Space was just like, to me, it was like the ultimate evolution of like Resident Evil 3, or Resident Evil 4. Just like the perfect action horror experience.
Yeah, it was like so good. I would love to see a Dead Space 4. Like, it's a real shame we haven't seen one.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe we might get one if that remake does well enough.
Maybe if that remake does well enough. You know, yeah. They did have plans, like, I'm aware, like, you know, they definitely had some storyboards for what they were gonna do for 4, I think they said. So, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see actually the original concept if it does well enough, maybe. Who knows?
Ski Knight says, all right, Cools, I'll ask you to play some Back for Blood when I get the chance again. And Shane asks, you should check out some soundtracks from Warframe. They are so good.
Oh yeah, the Warframe soundtracks. I keep forgetting to check that out because like so many people are like suggesting that to me. Like go listen to Warframe. I should like I'll write that down right now. Wait, where is that piece of paper? Okay. Well, where's my GDC pen? Oh, there it is. Okay, I will. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. I will check that out after the stream. All right, thank you. All right, now back to
the music zone.
Back to the music zone. Where is the strings? I'm supposed to steal these instruments because I did really well with them. I should probably close one of these tabs because I feel like if I add too much to here, Reaper is going to crash. In fact, maybe Reaper crashes right now. Okay, no, it doesn't. Where is it? Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. Of course I am. I was like wondering, like, what the heck? But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing more Back for Blood. You know, like actually getting the campaign done because, like, you know, I will say, I love the replay value of that game. There's so much replay value. like with the card system and everything. It just takes a while to build up like everything you do, but like once you do, like you can do some pretty funny stuff. Honestly, I found.
Does it have like a a lot of RPG mechanics in terms of like the cards?
Well, yeah, you can do crazy stuff. Like what I've been doing and experimenting with is just like a build where I have a bunch of shotguns with with a ton of ammo, like just a crud ton of ammo, and like if I remember right, uh so I'm able to pick up 2 shotguns, right? And like put that one in my secondary, one in my primary, right? And I have a card that makes so like when I'm not equipped with a card or when I'm not equipped with a particular weapon, it's reloading in my inventory.
Ooh.
So essentially I have infinite ammo shotguns because like I pull out one gun, I'm just like bam, 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 like put that away, pick up another shotgun, bam, 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 and then by the time I'm done with that, my other one's already reloaded, and I go like bam, 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 like just like constant, like infinite ammo shotgun. Like who doesn't love infinite ammo shotgun?
I didn't know you could have more than one shotgun in because usually most games you
It's
can
a field card.
Does sound fun. The idea of like just switching shotguns and then just bam, 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 bam. Yeah, I might have to look
It's
into
really
it.
funny.
I assume you feel like a complete badass when it's really working.
When it works, it's like there's nothing the game can throw at you. Sometimes, like when it works, it feels like there's nothing the game can throw at you to stop you, and then it does.
Oh my God! Phoenix the Shark gave us $5. You didn't even say anything. You just gave $5. Thank you, Phoenix the Shark. Thank you for the super chat. Woo! And would you like to know the YouTube poll results of what people think are the best games that you like?
Was not aware there was a poll. I missed that part. Oh no, I'm being judged by the internet. Oh no.
No, it's a just like which one do they like the most?
No, I know. Okay.
So
Okay,
it's a dead tie at 36% for between Left 4 Dead and Luigi's Mansion.
Hmm. What are the exact numbers, right? How many people voted?
11 votes.
Dang.
So there is time to sway it one way or another to break the dead tie. Ooh, Cal and Stuff asks a really good question. Have you listened to any of the tracks originating directly from the SCP wiki at all, Cools?
I have listened to a lot of them. Not all of them. Not all of them, but I have listened to a lot of them. And honestly, a lot of them are pretty freaking sick. Like, and the ones that aren't pretty sick, that's because they're fucking cooked. Oh my god.
Have you ever watched Homestuck or watched or read Homestuck?
I have not. I have not. My sister tells me about it sometimes, and like I'm like, yo, we should totally do that. You know, just hang out together and just like, read or like watch that. We never do. We should.
Well, probably because it would take you hours and hours and hours. Homestuck.
It would. There's just so much content apparently.
I just think it's kind of interesting to compare it to SCP, just because of Homestuck is also internet derived. It has more of a central focus, but also has a shit ton of music, which is really interesting. 2 seconds though. I just need to use the restroom.
Yes.
But keep composing. I will be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, I will try not to blow up the stream while you're gone. Okay, so what I need to do. Like, I really don't know how to.
Phoenix the Shark says, take my money, go buy a Happy Meal or something. And Totally Human says, this is genuinely intriguing.
I'm glad you think so.
Count Stuff and said, install a thermonuclear bomb under Social's desk. Funny prank. You'll never see it coming.
I don't think anyone will see anything ever again. Jeez.
That would be a very ambitious prank. I mean, I don't know. You could play some electromagnet wave or something, and then have Captain Crunch come to my, have my bird come to my seat and poop on it or something. That would be an effective prank, assuming you can mind control a parrot.
I don't know. Like, am I trying too hard to just make the piano like? Because I think what I want for this is like the piano to be like the main thing, but I'm not sure if I'm trying too hard to. I'm trying to force the piano to be the main thing.
Well, would it be possible to just do like? I'm trying to think if there's like some iconic SCP 5K theme and just have like one piano note play for like a long time. Here, two seconds, and then now I'm gonna pull up those trailers, and I'll send them to you, and maybe you can like listen to them and see what I'm saying. Let's see, Jurassic World trailer, 2015. God, I can't believe that movie came out 9 years ago. That's wild.
Half the things that I think of, like, I can't believe they came out that long ago.
Yeah, it just feels like yesterday.
I'm really proud of you for.
I can't believe it's been like 2 years since 5K came out. Like, geez, like that's a long time.
Wait, did 5K? I thought 5K didn't come out until like 2022. Yeah, but that's not 5 years. That's still like 2 years.
I said 2 years. I said 2 years, right? Or am I stupid?
You said 5 years, and I was like, did 5K?
Oh yeah, 2 years. 2 years. Sorry. Yeah, no, I misspoke there. I can't believe it's been 2 years already, because it feels like yesterday that like like we released this,
Okay, here we go. I've got it. Let's see if this serves as musical inspiration for you. This is a perfect example. I think every like movie did this in 2015. Just played like the first 10 seconds.
That's definitely an old trope. It's like I do like, right? I do like that trope to an extent, because it's just cool. Pianos are cool.
Yeah.
I think that pianos are my favorite instrument. personally. And strings, like any kind of string, like instrument, like all these strings here, like are my second favorite. But like piano, I will try to throw that wherever I can.
And then here we go. Here's another example. Just play like the first 8 seconds of this, and you'll. It's another perfect example of like how piano's echoing was so popular. I just sent you a message.
Yep, Ghostbusters.
Yep. Just the first 8 seconds is enough.
I like the drone. Oh yeah, just like the classic.
Yeah. So there you go. Two examples of trailers where they had like, just like a few like long notes. I don't know what you'd call that musically. Oh my God! It's the Panther has come back with another $4.99. Wishing everyone a good day. Thank you, Panther. Don't spend all your bread money in one place. I can't believe I missed your super chat. Thank you, Panther. And Left 4 Dead won the poll as the best game out of your favorite games for 50%.
I don't know if you can tell, right? But out of all of them, Left 4 Dead is probably my favorite game. Based off of my profile picture.
the classic. It's such a shame Valve never like did like a follow up for Left 4 Dead.
I mean, they probably will eventually. I mean, let's be real. I mean, as soon as they decide they can count to 3. As the joke goes.
that is the eternal. They just are too afraid to. They're terrified to count to 3.
I'm sure they have their reasons too.
I guess
I think more so. I think what it is they're looking for the right concept, the right idea.
You're probably right, but like, I think people like Left 4 Dead and Half-Life so much that if you could just like, give bigger Half-Life or bigger Left 4 Dead, people will be pretty happy.
You could. I mean, that really is truly, yes, that is the case. But I mean, Valve's the type of company I believe that they still would want the right idea, the best one.
That is true. They are kind of like old school Pixar in the video game world, where they have the luxury if they don't have to make something, nobody's going to make them because they basically have a monopoly on
Steam. Steam, so.
All PC games.
All the time in the world.
Nobody can make them do anything.
But yeah, we'll get Left 4 Dead 3 when it's good and ready, and it's time. What if I... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think...
Ooh, that's kind of interesting.
I need to...
Phoenix the Shark says, making the whole crew rich through this random stream. Yeah, exactly. You were making sure that Piper's kids can get Happy Meals. Piper's kids Happy Meal Fund.
I think what I need to do is just kind of lean into like the idea that like, okay, this is a one shot where I'm like not gonna use this anything for the game, or probably, I mean, maybe, who knows. Just lean into like the fact of one shot. Just honestly just take this as it is.
Hey, if there's ever a place to experiment for freely, try crazy things, push boundaries, it is here.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna lean into this like, okay, yep, the song ends like right here, basically. Like the song ends right there. I'm just gonna say that right now. And just go off that. I need more bass here. Maybe not there. Maybe not. Because this is sorely lacking on the low end spectrum. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm about to pause and see what that's about.
Uh-oh, everything all right there? Well,
Probably.
it sounded like a fire alarm. Hopefully everything's okay. In the meantime, let me advertise the fact that we have the plushie makeshift is going on right now. 173 plushie. We just
All right, I'm
had.
back.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
fine.
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, they're just burning something in the kitchen apparently. But yeah, it's fine. It's just water.
Okay. Good. Good. Happy to hear that everything is a-okay in your place.
I hope I didn't interrupt anything.
No. I was just talking about the plushie.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Cal Phoenix, the local shark, says Cal has managed to locally set fire to Cool's house. I know that people like to say "let them cook," but I didn't mean it literally.
Yo, please don't, like, man, I'm just saying everyone's cooking here, like all these musicians, all these community members, right? Please do not cook me. You know, I didn't mean it that literally. Please do not. I do not want to be cooked. I am cooking right now, but I do not want to be cooking right now. You know what I'm saying?
Panther for $9.99. This one is for you, cool super chat announcer guy. Oh my god, this guy is just buying Piper's Kids Happy Meals for days, for days, for days. Thank you so much for contributing to the Affray funds, so it may cipher through the Google AdSense and eventually to our accounts. Thank you so much. My only regret in life is that we could not make for you a GDC live stream. I tried really hard, but the planet's still on the line. But thank you for the super chat.
It didn't happen, but thank you so much. You know, it means a lot. It means a lot. You know, like, hey, you know, that's $9 I can use to feed Piper's Kids Happy Meals. Does it legally have to be a Happy Meal? Like, I can't give them anything healthier. Does it have to be a Happy Meal?
I mean, it could be something healthier. Maybe you can get a Happy Meal with like some apples, some juice, some milk. I don't know if it makes it that much healthier.
You have to have a Happy Meal, like no matter what. Okay, all right.
All right, you can get the Piper's Kids some guacamole from Whole Foods. You can get some. There you go. They can split some guacamole and pita, or pita and hummus. Totally Human says, I was modding SCP 5K and made the loading screen a different SpongeBob scene every time.
That sounds pretty funny. Like honestly, like honestly, like I love the whole modding scene. People just like make the funniest stuff, but also the greatest stuff. Like a lot of cool stuff comes from modding. So thank you, honestly, thank you.
I would love to see screenshots. So if you have videos of that, please post it.
Screenshots.
Please post it in the Discord, in the Player Creations channel. I would absolutely love to see that.
Kind of a random thing, right? But something like an actual learned composer told me once that's really freaking messed up about my music from like most people's standpoint is like I compose in 3/4, but in 4/4. I don't know exactly in time signature, right? So like basically I do a bunch of threes, like so you can see right here, right, with the bars, right?
Mm.
So this goes like 1, 2, 3. This goes to 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And then if I were to go to 4/4, a lot of this stuff just doesn't line up anymore. Like a lot of this stuff, like over here, because this is all 3. This is all 3s. And apparently that's not something sane people do. That's like because like it's just. But I'm very much special.
Interesting.
Composing with 3s.
So is that something that's considered to be very unorthodox in the music world?
Honestly, I don't know. I would assume so. I don't know, and that's it's kind of like one of those things where like I just randomly bring it up, and I don't really have a firm resolution to it. But like, apparently,
I mean, as long as it works,
it works. It works.
That's the most important thing. That's interesting. It's almost like a shonen anime where it's like everyone with a sword, musical sword, fights using 3/4 of the blade, but you're 4/4 of the blade, but you're using 3/4. That makes you special and unique. That's your superpower. That's how you'll beat him. That's how you'll beat Vegeta or Frieza or Sukuna or whoever the anime villain of the week is.
And here's like kind of like a random thought again, right? But like I believe in one of Hans Zimmerman's interviews, right? He said music's a question, right? You like that's really like what it boils down to, and I do agree. Music's a question, right? This is a question right here. And then you have to have an answer, right? That's the whole point of the melody. You have a question, you have an answer. And I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of like saying it, but so if I take that last note here, so this is like,
could we put in recorder sounds? You remember like in grade school where like they would make you do recorder playthroughs, that terrible instrument? Is there any way to make recorders work? Could that be the answer?
I genuinely forget what a recorder sounds like. Cause like I'm sure you're talking about the instrument, the recorder.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, I'm about to remind you.
I have not heard that in a long time. Like I know of it. I don't remember what it sounds like. But the idea is that this entire track is building up to like it's a question. It builds up to an answer, and then this last note here is the answer. That's like something satisfying to the end. I think that's what he means by it. If that makes any sense. Probably not. I'm probably just crazy.
Well, that is interesting philosophy that like all music is a answering question. Well, here we go. This is what a recorder sounds like. You can play this all this horrible instrument. Probably the
Yeah, there we go. Okay, hold on. I'll listen to that in a second here. But like here,
all right.
Here we go. Here's why I was.
You think you've got an answer?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Like the last two notes right there. The last two notes. We just do a bunch of. Yes. Do not mind my genius names. Yeah. So it is. Oh, it's a Titanic, dude.
Can we make that work? Is that possible? Can we make 5K all around recorders?
Admittedly, right? I think I'd love, like, honestly, I don't know who in the community, but like if one of y'all is like sick, insane at the recorder, like honestly, man, I will like I would love to see you play an SCP-5K track with just the recorder. Like honestly, like I would love that so much, right? If you got the skill, if you got like, just do it, man. Like I don't care, right? Even if you're not that good at it, like I guess because it's still freaking great no matter what. I mean, yeah.
The challenge has been thrown down for
anyone can do that. That would be crazy.
The challenge has been thrown down. Get in there, play some recorders, make it happen. Make it. Oh, second. If anyone's out there, make it happen. Phoenix, the local shark, asks, should add in a few kazoos while you're at it.
That wouldn't hurt. That wouldn't hurt as well.
Talent stuff. The Phoenix, the local shark, new April's Fool's update. All of the OSTs are changed to recorder versions.
That'd be a sick April Fool update.
Yeah, we'll make it happen in the 2 days until April Fool's. Well, fun idea.
You better get to it then. You better get to it.
You better get to it all-nighter. A fun idea that I pitched, but it probably isn't going to happen, is I pitched a, oh my god, Panther has become a supporter. Thank you, Panther. Oh, you just find so many fun ways to keep on throwing money and giving Piper's kids Happy Meals. Thank you. My suggestion would be, though, if you haven't already, please get a plush.
They're pretty good, right? We had one at GDC, like, they brought one, like, and they're like, I touched it, and it was like freaking insane, man. Like, it was like really good quality, like, honestly. Like, the people who made it, like, they were cooking. They were like really cooking. Like, I got to meet those people, like, not the people who made it, but the people, like, the makeshift people, right? And I shook their hands, like, I told them, like, you did a great job, because they freaking did. Like, they really blew it out of the park, honestly.
Yeah. So I certainly hope, Panther, like, with the incredible amount of money that you were feeding to Piper's children in a fray, that you definitely go and pick up something from the makeshift so we can sell some more plushies.
Now here comes the part where I'm kind of a little bit like bored, and I just mess around with the pitch because like it's cool.
But yes, the challenge has been thrown down. I want to see recorders for SCP-5K. And for anyone who has not seen the link, despite the fact I keep on posting it incessantly, I will post it to you in the YouTube chat. We're getting down to that final stretch. We got 96 sold. I'd like to push it up a little bit higher.
I kind of want to delay this a little bit more. I want to kind of delay this a little bit more, like do.
Was that the Jurassic Park theme, your version of it?
I wouldn't say necessarily that. Maybe, but like, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm just like hearing, like, I'm just hearing it in my head, right? I'm just hearing it in my head, and I'm trying to see if I can replicate it. That's really the gist of it, right?
SL creator who bought a plush? I don't know. The thing is that like some of the plushes it doesn't list. But shout out to Neon Valletta for buying a plush. Psycho Lynchy and SL Creator. If you bought a plush, thank you for buying it. We will also tomorrow have a game night where we will do plushie platforming. So I hope as many of you can come as possible to hang out and play the Stumble Guys game.
What do you think of this?
Let's hear that. Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, thank you so much for buying the game, Hubert Muzaka.
Hmm.
It feels a little anticlimactic. It feels like it needs some. I don't know what that is, but it just feels like it tapers off.
It kind of does. Because I have the idea, right? So if I remove like this.
One second, I'm getting a call. Back in 2 seconds.
I don't know. And that's kind of the beauty of it, right? Because I don't need to know. It doesn't feel right, so it isn't right. And that's kind of the thing. Personally, I think I'm done working on this for right now. I mean, obviously this ain't finished. It's one of those things where like, yeah, I could stay here. I could work on this for like another couple hours, but like you'll get I'm getting a bit burnt out on it, I should say. I'm getting a bit burnt out on it. Admittedly. But yeah. Because I think that's kind of the issue, right? That's kind of one of my issues, right? I look a lot for the reason, right? Like I kind of grabbed this one because I thought it sounded cool, right? I'm not in my head, right? I'm not necessarily placing a purpose to this track, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of doing it for the sake of doing it, which is makes it more difficult to really figure out if I'm going in the right direction, if that makes sense. Because it sounds cool and I could make it something good. I just need direction. I need to know like what is this for, right? I'm just thinking like, oh yeah, cool trailer. But like when you work on a trailer, right, you want to know like roughly like the layout of like here's how roughly like it's gonna play out, right? We action like here, like okay, maybe it's calm here, the rough timestamps or stuff. Maybe even have the video on hand. But here, I'm just really going in blind. I think, that's like kind of a thing that, making music for the sake of making music, But yeah. I think I'm just gonna leave this for now, honestly. Just honestly. I'm like thinking here. I'm actually gonna get some water real quick, so please let Lobster know if he gets back before I get back. Honestly.
All right, I return. Oh God, we left you all alone. I got a phone call. Cools went to get some water. Um, um, Panthers. I will strategically transfer the plushie equipment to an alternative location. Totally Human says Half-Life 2 still to this day makes more money than Steam. Valve makes less money than some random 8-year-old named Ryan. Oh, fun fact. I used to work with a guy who became like Ryan's World's manager and like turned him into an empire and made probably a ridiculous amount of money with Ryan's World. Yeah, I wonder like how old is that kid? Ryan's World. Like how much money has he made this point? This, Ryan's World. Now I'm kind of curious. Ryan's World. How old is he? Oh wow, he's 12 years old. Only 12 years old. I thought he'd be a teenager by this point, but god dang, there was a gold mine where like if you had kids, you could like put them on YouTube and have them play with stuff, and then that would just be like it would make you so much money. It was like the portal to the money dimension, just making kids content. But now it's like much more difficult to do that because kids content on YouTube you can't do it because of COPA because you have to label your content as kids content. Thank you, Panther, for coming. Hope you have a good night. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for donating for the Piper kids McDonald's fund, so we can get those little kids Happy Meals. And I hope to see you tomorrow if you can make it for the game night. And yeah, keep posted. Hey, you return. I was just randomly talking. Although, oh my God, Totally a Human spent $5. Mobile Task Force ETA 11 has contained SCP-173, and I, the administrator, have bought it from me.
Wait, SCP-173? Yo, you bought it for $5?
Exactly. The MTFs have contained SCP-173, and now you can take it into your home and bring it with you. It's fantastic. Thank you for the super chat. Totally a Human. But we have been. Oh my God, Panther. Not to be outdone, another super chat for $1.99. I will try. I do be busy. Super chat train.
Even more super chats?
Yeah, Totally Human was put a super chat for $5. Panther did one for $1.99. Talking about Mobile Task Force ETA 11 has contained SCP-173, and I, the administrator, have bought it from Makeshift.
Dang, man! Like honestly, y'all are epic, right? Like Piper's kids, they are not going to go hungry for these Happy Meals. They're going to be very happy with these meals.
They are going to be so happy. Let's see what Piper's kids. What Happy Meal toy are they doing now? Happy Meal toy.
What Happy Meal toy do they get? Jeez.
Oh, they're going to get some McDonald's Kerwin Frost McNugget buddies.
Yo,
that's what's going on now. You can get the Frost McNugget buddies. And let's see what promo. Happy Meal McDonald's. I gotta know what toys on sale. What toy are we getting for his kids? Why do they not tell me what the toy is? Like they should have like tell me what toy is on offer. What toy available for Happy Meals right now? Because when you were growing up, did you always notice how like the big movie franchises would get the McDonald's toys? Like, you know, Burger King would get like the shittier toys, and then the Taco Bell got like all the third-rate franchises for their toys.
I mean, admittedly, when I was growing up, right, I didn't really go to a lot of McDonald's or like a lot of like those places back in the day.
Oh man, you didn't like toys? You didn't like?
I mean, I went a lot to McDonald's when I was like apparently up to 3 years old or something, because like my mom tells me like, yes, son, you would not eat anything unless you had chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Yeah, so apparently I was that kind of child, and I feel very sorry for what my parents had to go through. After that, like, not so much.
Oh, well, all right, but there are 100 years of wonder, so thankfully you get 2 toys. There's like a whole bunch of Disney toys for the 100 Years of Wonder, so maybe we've got a shot of getting, Piper's kids, one of each of these kids. You know, they can get a little soul toy so they can feel sad about their existence. They can get a Mandalorian.
No, don't say that. No.
Well, you ever watch that movie Soul? It was really depressing. I always thought that was like, it's funny that they had this movie like contemplating the death and the meaning of life, and they have a scene where like the poor soul guy, like, you know, goes up the escalator and he just looks into the void of oblivion, and I'm like, oh man, this is very heavy for your family Pixar movie. So you can get him in an action figure, and have 40-year-old I wasted my life energy. Incredible.
That sounds like a very interesting thing to put in like a Happy Meal.
Oh my God! Phoenix the Shark super chat train for $2. Oh my God! We're rich. Mushroom drown a fray with support and funds. Ugh. My regret. Oh, if only we did a GDC live stream, we would be able to buy Piper's kids a Chipotle Happy Meal. I think Chipotle has like kids meals.
I've not actually physically been inside a Chipotle. I've ordered from there, but I haven't physically ever gone in one.
Chipotle is like Chipotle. You never been into a Chipotle?
No. My only experience with Chipotle was during COVID-19. You know, a couple of times we got Uber like Eats or whatever from there. Like, you know,
I'm surprised. Chipotle's everywhere. It's also a pretty.
Chipotle's everywhere, yeah, but I've never physically gone in there.
Wow, I'm surprised. Oh God, dang it! Totally a human. $2. I can't afford anymore. The O5 council are pissed.
But yeah, I will say, right, it's been about 2 hours, right? It's 11:30 right now. I kind of wanna go, like, cause I'm
okay. Well, that super chat train. So you want to wrap things up?
I do want to wrap things up, right? Because like I was saying, right, while you were gone here, right? Like an example, right? I feel like where I'm going with this particular thing here is I'm making music for the sake of making music, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. But the fact of the matter is, right, I'm just going to be sitting here for a really long time trying to figure out a direction, because I don't in my head have like the right direction. That's why, as I was talking earlier, right, when I'm making things like, you know, for particular seconds, I'm going to Google that. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to see what, you know, and I'm going to get a good idea of the direction before I really go in there. And I've been playing it with the images and stuff. That's how I get my direction. That's how I know that I'm on the right track, or like if I'm not on the right track. With this, I don't know. And I'm feeling like I'm getting a bit burnt out on it.
You know what? That's fair. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. I think this has been a very good stream. Thank you so much for everyone who's contributed. So you definitely deserve to cool off, go relax, enjoy your weekend. So
a Happy Meal, maybe.
get a Happy Meal, get 100 Years of Wonder, Happy Meal to enjoy for yourself. So is there any like final things you'd like to do before we sign off? Some random.
I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, or like, hey, because I know there's going to be like a VOD of this as well. Like whoever, like if you tune into the VOD as well, hello to you, VOD viewer. I hope you are having a great and wonderful day, wherever and whenever you are, sir or madam. Thank you.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for this. Is always the hardest part. I always like, did I give it enough of a goodbye? Have I goodbyed hard enough? Because streaming's like getting into a pool. You get kind of comfortable and you're not quite sure how to get out because you're gonna get cold. But a few final comments. That's understandable, Cools. You're killing out there. You deserve a break. Guten Tag. Have a good night. Wonderful people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Cools. I'm sure we'll have you. I'll drag you. Maybe I'll get both of you and Venny out at the same time. We'll figure out something because I know I always like having people come back here. And, tonight was a fantastic evening. And thank you so much. I hope you all had a great time. And I hope I will see you tomorrow for the plushie platformer. There is not a prize anymore, but we could just have fun with Stumble Guys and running around. And I hope to get like 10 or 12 or 13 people or as many people as we can get in there. And we can just have a grand old time playing some free-to-play platform games. So I hope I'll see you there. And Cools, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, like I said, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your generosity with Piper's children. They will eat very well. And again, I just want to say I can't thank all of you enough for being awesome, and sticking with our game. Honestly, you're all amazing. Okay. And that's all I have to say. Really. I hope you learned something from my mad ramblings while I was interrupting constantly Lobster here while he's trying to talk a lot.
No. You were here to do it. My ramblings are just to keep the flow of conversation going and respond to people. But you are the star. You are the person who is. This is your night to shine. This is your Oscars. This is your podium. This is your masterclass. So always remember that. But thank you so much for giving insight to your process. And with that, I bid you adieu. It is time to say goodnight and end the stream. Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Or good day, depending on what time zone you're in. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.